Hello friends and welcome back to another Sunday video. Each Sunday I go through the markets and I talk about trading setups that I am looking at for the week ahead. And what we're going to do, as we usually do, is I'm going to go through a couple different markets that I'm watching. I'll show you guys a trade that I'm currently in and my thoughts for this upcoming trading week, which, a little bit of context, of course, this is going to be the week of Christmas, which Christmas in the Forex world is one of the, I believe it's just 2 days out of the year that the Forex market completely is shut down for a little while there on Christmas and New Year. So we have a little bit of things to talk about when it comes to that, and whether or not we think we could see some volatility going into this week. It's going to be just a big question mark, because sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. So without further ado, let's talk about it. So let's see what we can start with. I'd say we start with the dollar here, just because the dollar was really interesting there on Friday. Here's a 4-hour view of the US dollar, and what we'll see is that the dollar basically came down real hard and then bam, found demand off of this level and just shot right back up. So going into the dollar this week, of course, volatility may be not massive, but we still might be looking for, just in case it happens, some form of big catalyst-based breakouts to the upside, right? If something changes big time in the Forex market, truthfully, the Forex market is 24/7, because you and I both have cash in some form of another in a different currency, right? Maybe the same currency, but either ways, we are all engaging in supply and demand of the US dollar, in the British pound, whatever currency you have, right? And so the point is, just because it's the holidays doesn't mean we can't still have some movements if something big hits the floor. So, of course, big level of resistance up here at 96.8, which is, of course, that high of the year. I believe, am I right about that? I believe that is the high of the year. Yep. So the high of the year, 96 point, let's call it 96.9, give or take. And so we're looking to see, can we get the momentum to break through that? And we started off very strong there towards the end of the week. Little demand came in for the dollar, and I am still net bullish on the dollar until further notice. Looking for a breakout. If that does happen, I will still look at trading setups going into the week of Christmas. I'm not, if a setup is there, I will still take it. It's been a little bit of a rough trading month for me. However, I do have a trade running that is going pretty well. Let me show it to you. I'll show you Euro GBP. I'm currently short on Euro Pound. Caught a really nice little retracement there last week, and stops are at break even. So I'm in a good spot here on this trade. Basically, price came up to this level. This zone held really nicely, and I ended up taking that short position there on Thursday or Friday. Let's see. Did I take it on 12/17? So 12/17 was Friday. So I actually took it on Friday. So I took Friday. Oh, wait, no, that's my update. When did I take it initially? Okay, yeah, I did. So I moved stops to break even on the same day. So I sold Euro Pound on the 17th at that level. So there was the picture that I sent out to members within our Discord. And so price kind of dropped from there. So going nicely so far. But basically the idea here was, I'm pretty much bearish on the euro at this point right now. So until further notice, I'm looking for short setups on the euro. And with the Bank of England going into kind of a hawkish tone with their sudden rise in interest rates, right? They surprised investors with a hike. Well, that kind of causes some interest for me on the pound side. I think it may be delayed. You may get some volatility short term, but I decided to short the euro, buy the pound, and that's where this position came out of. By the way, if you're not already in the Discord and you would like to join us there is a link down below in the description and a discount code for you. If you plug in that code, it is YTVIP. That's our YouTube plug for you. So join the group if you'd like. The link is down below in the description. You can see all the trades that I'm taking. You can see our chat rooms and join in on all the action. You can join our coaching calls with Ivan from Norway. So cool guy, very smart guy, and very helpful educator. So again, lots of perks inside of the group. If you're not already in there, click the link down below in the description and hope to see some of you guys there. So again, Euro Pound making a move down and looking good to start out the week. We'll see if we give all that back here going into the week, but volatility I expect to probably be quiet, but if we can see a breakout on Euro Pound, key thing I'm looking for here is, can we get below this level of support here down there at 0.8485, let's say, somewhere in this range, right? So if we can get below that, that would be great. I'd probably look to trail stops more aggressively, but that is what I am personally watching for on my open position. And like I mentioned, there's a couple things that I'm looking for on other pairs. So let's continue on. EURUSD, short bias here, but I think the move has already happened. Again, I chose to short Euro Pound. Of course, I shoulda, woulda, coulda sold EURUSD instead because it dropped even more, but again, such is trading. But anyways, so Euro USD, let's look at the 4-hour chart for a moment. Euro dollar looks like it's trying to make a march back down to the previous low and may even attempt at an end of the year new low. That would be very interesting to see if that can happen. Again, we do have some major support here to watch, and I think it may not be coincidence that we dropped all the way from resistance and then stopped the week right at support. There's a key level example for you in the making. So price went and then stopped right there at key support. Now, if that can hold, of course, we may just enter into a range for the rest of the year. But if we can break out, the question will be, will euro dollar bears try and make a sprint for a new low before the end of the year? I think it's unlikely. Truthfully, I think that the most natural reaction, just in light of lower volatility due to Christmas, is probably just a short-term bounce and kind of just enter back into consolidation and not really do anything crazy. But sometimes you get those crazy Christmas rallies or things like that can happen towards the very end of the year. It's just one of those touch-or-go things. I've been trading long enough to see years where it does one or the other. So it is kind of just a wait-and-see thing. Now, if I was to be looking for short setups on euro dollar, I'd be interested in something like this. If we do get the breakout, if that volatility does expand, then yeah, I'd be interested potentially in shorting on a retest. But I'd have to see this level break because that's a pretty key spot on the chart. So if we can break that, retest it, maybe there's a short setup that I could look for momentum to try and head to that low of the year and maybe even break it down there at 1.2. Sorry, right there on the dot. 1.2 is where we basically made our low of the year on the euro dollar. So a couple levels to watch out for. Again, if we can break this zone here, if we can make a nice little push lower, retests, targeting maybe the low or even a break through the low with a tight stop loss. That would kind of be the way I approach that. Next up, we'll take a look at the pound dollar. Of course, I am kind of long biased on the pound relative to the euro at this point. But you can still see this thing is still struggling against that big, strong dollar, which had an incredible run on Friday. So again, I'm still bullish on the dollar, so I'm not really interested in trading this pair as I do have a short term. I think that the pound play could still happen. I think that there could be some strength. But if this thing continues to break lower, it could be kind of the end of my idea there, and I could just be wrong about that. But my basis for that is that the pound, with the Bank of England coming out with a surprise rate hike, I do imagine, so we did have an initial reaction to that was very strong, but then we gave it all back. And I think part of the reason that we gave it all back is that maybe, this is just a little bit of speculation on my part, I think there's the possibility that institutional traders who do have positions on the short side on pound dollar are looking to kind of get out of their position. So they may purposefully, pick up more shorts to try and encourage retail traders to pick up shorts themselves, right? And then maybe that could cause the liquidity for them to actually buy and look for them to buy against that crowd. I hope that makes sense. I know that stuff gets tricky, but I actually, I'm watching the pound to see if that can happen. We'll definitely have to talk more about that throughout the week on our streams. If you're not already watching the streams and you would like to join us, it's Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. U.S. Eastern. Tune in, come by. We'll talk about the pound, I'm sure, this week, a couple days out of the week before Christmas, of course. So, pound dollar, really short biased here on the longer time frames against the dollar. However, I do think that there is kind of this counter trend to look at just cautiously. I'm not going to jump to conclusions or anything like that, but that's kind of what I'm looking at. Let's take a look at gold now, XAU USD here for a moment, and we could talk about what's going on here. So gold, very interesting week last week. We did get a break of significant resistance, okay? So we actually did, for the first time in a while, see buyers come out pretty strong. We saw price jump through resistance, right? And now, as things started to pull back, I think if you're a gold bull, now please remember this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you to go do this trade or go place money on the line. I'm not here to do that. These are my opinions, as always, on the channel. But for me, looking at gold, I think there may be an opportunity to try and buy it on a retest here. Maybe this week, maybe next week. We'll have to just see if it gets there. But the idea being is we had this huge breakout, right? Huge resistance here. Price broke through that level. And on a retest, you've got a lot of strength coming in for the gold market. So I'm wondering, if it's worth the risk to kind of look for this pullback opportunity, maybe put a buy on that trade with, with a stop loss somewhere within the range, right? Something like this. It's a little bit bigger of a stop loss than maybe some traders are okay with. But for me, that's kind of how I would look to swing trade this, would just be to, put the stop there back inside the range in case price just kind of fails out and continues lower. If this was a big fake breakout, then sure, we'll just take the small loss. But it has the potential to not be a fake breakout. And maybe it has, the potential to do something like this and just continue the rally at the end of the year, but also maybe even going into New Year's, right? So I think it's a worthy thing to consider, the idea of what that risk to reward looks like. And I think that honestly, it's not the worst. So I'm looking at gold closely, especially with everything going on with markets and markets just being a little bit shaky right now. The dollar's got a little bit of strength, but so does the gold market. And with the gold market kind of on the rise, question is, can it kind of hold the grounds that it's made? That's just going to be the question to watch for. So yeah, gold definitely a very interesting one this week, and will definitely be one that we talk about on streams throughout the week. Of course, if I take any trades, you guys remember, you'll see them inside the Discord. All of that is linked down below in the description. So if I take any gold trades, they will be shared here with full breakdowns, entries, exits, targets, all that sort of good stuff. So there you go. Now, if gold gets running, one more thing I'll say is you've got a couple things to think about. We tagged this level. So first step would be, okay, if we're going to see bullish continuation here, if we pull back, that's great, but we're looking for something like this, right? That's really what we're looking for, is a break of this level, because then if you look left, there's really not much stopping us from trying to make a push all the way back up to those high 1800s, right? Big resistance up there, of course, lots of higher time frame, interest is going to be placed on gold if we were to make that sort of run. But something like this, that could be the grand, like the true move of gold that could be interesting, right? Everyone is so focused on like these time frames recently because we've just been doing nothing but chopping. But in the grand scheme of things, a true gold breakout could be something like this in a matter of like 2 or 3 weeks. Because look, that's what happens, right? When gold really moves, you'll know about it. It just straight up moves and moves and moves. And every time this happens, you guys, just a little lesson for you. Every time this happens, retail traders blow their accounts significantly. The reason why? Because retail traders, it's just the same story I tell on my channel every single week, I feel like. They sell, and then they hold, the account blows, and then it starts going down. They buy, they hold, the account blows. That's what they do every time. I just told you exactly how retail traders trade. Like the average retail trader, they don't hold winners. They hold losers. They hold on to losers and they let them blow their accounts. And they take too big of a position size, right? My unpopular opinion when it comes to gold, if you made it this far in this video, then you're here for the reality stuff. If you made it this far in this video, I don't think you should be trading gold. My thing is, don't trade gold unless you have like $1,000 in the account, and then you can trade 0.01s for swing trades. Now, if you're a day trader, it might be a little different because, again, you're talking about smaller pip movements, so 0.01 is not so much. But 0.01 lots is actually a pretty big size for a small account on gold. Now, on a currency pair, it's a little different because remember, when we look at things like average true range, the pip difference is significant, right? You get way more movement on something like gold than you would trading the euro dollar. So if you have a small account, I would say be very careful touching gold. It can be a #1 account blower because, the thing is, a lot of times what traders do is they rely on their hot streak to keep going in order to survive, which is terrifying, right? If you're trading and you have to be 100% correct just to not blow your account, it's just a matter of time, right? Because all of us have bad trades, bad, days in the market, just not trading our best, right? So if you're out there just all in on all these trades with like gold and on your small account, it's just a matter of time before it blows you up, which is scary, but that's unfortunately what so many retail traders do every single day. And every time gold gets moving, I'm just ranting here for a second, but every time gold gets moving, I get messages on YouTube, social media, like Instagram or something like that. I get people messaging me and they're just like, Nick, I'm stuck in this trade. What the heck is going on? And every time it's the same thing. There's nothing you can do once you're stuck in a trade, you have no plan, and you're just praying that the market's going to turn back. That's hopeless. That's where you have to start over and you have to change your direction, because that's not going to work, right? So anyways, yeah, just a little rant there. Let's see, what else can we take a look at? We take a look at dollar yen here for a moment. So dollar yen, kind of an interesting pair right now, just because it is mixed, right? You have yen strength coming in, but you also have dollar strength. So this one honestly looks like it's probably going to keep range bounding for the rest of the year. That would be my first take. But for those of you guys who are watching it, resistance up there at 114.2 could hold, but again, it just depends what happens with this dollar. If the dollar stays in play and yen weakness tends to fade here, I would actually say watch for a breakout, and I'd be more bullish biased on dollar yen for a possible reattempt at 115.4. If not by the end of the year, then maybe by next year, at some point we could see a little bit of a break there. That would be my thoughts on dollar yen. However, the yen pairs are strong right now. Quick look at JXY shows us that the yen has been a little bit on the rise. We've seen a little bit of a jump, right? Just like DXY, JXY is just a conglomerate for looking at the Japanese yen, which has been, like I said, very strong in recent times, as people and market participants are just a little bit uncertain about markets going into the end of the year. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. Now, again, before we go, guys, I do want to say, remember to join the group if you have not already. You can jump in the chat, jump in the coaching calls. We are going to be getting ready for the new year, and things are going to be very exciting. So if you're not already in there, click the link down below in the description. Sign up using the promo code, and you'll get a discount off of your membership. And with that said, thank you very much for watching today. If you enjoyed, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.